Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are fine this morning. The Lord has been good and we thank Him for this wonderful day. Let me begin by asking you a question. Kenyans living in our country and those who are residing in the diaspora, is there anything that makes you proud to be a Kenyan? That's what I want to understand, because for me, I want to answer you very quickly. The only times I find myself proud of my country is when we have our athletes winning golds in the marathon and all those long distances, or when I see the Gen Z standing for their rights and they arrest those who have been sent to spoil their peaceful demonstrations, or when I see Kenyans rising up to help the poor. That is the only time I find myself very proud. When I see Kenyans resisting tribalism, resisting to be divided along tribal or party lines. Now, the reason I began that way is that I just realized that William Ruto is a hypocrite. Because in the wake of the mayhem and the torture that had been meted on innocent Kenyans when people were killed, some of them dumped in some quarry dumping sites, William Ruto forced the former IG to resign. And from where I sit, I want to believe that it reached a point where the former Inspector General, Japhet Koome, resisted more killings, and that's why he went. And this is the reason why I believe so. Douglas Kanja, who was the deputy and has taken over, for the few days that he's been there, he's raining more terror than even the former Japhet Koome. Because within those days, we have seen the quarry where those bodies were bundled. That place was burnt down to conceal evidence. And yesterday, because I think yesterday was the first demonstration by the Gen Zs under the leadership of Douglas Kanja, we witnessed a night of terror, a day and night of terror. People were killed, policemen were getting into churches, tear gas were thrown into schools, and you wonder what is happening. Journalists were shot at, and you wonder what kind, because now we have come from frying pan into fire. With those many remarks, this morning, a veteran journalist, Macharia Gaitho, was abducted and forcefully bundled into a pro box. This happened as he was coming out from his Karen home. And if you look at the headlines, and I want to read for you just two headlines before I show you some videos there. The Star was reporting veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho abducted, and they were reporting that veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho has been abducted by unknown individuals at Karen police station. Just look at that headline alone. Unknown individuals abducting a famous and a veteran journalist in a police station. So this is a police station that is known. It is Karen police station, but the people who are abducting him are unknown. Why are they unknown? First, they are in civilian. They have not identified themselves. Number two, they are not using an official police car. They are using a Probox. You know the history of Probox and Subarus. Gaitho was with his son when they were cut off by a Subaru as they left home. Oh, I just talked about Subaru. So it was a Subaru that blocked them. And then they were abducted and bundled into a Probox. He then drove off into Karen police station where he was forcefully abducted. In a video seen by the Star, the journalist is shoved into a white Probox inside the station by people in civilian clothes as police looked. The video was recorded by his son. However, the director of criminal investigation, Amin Mohammed, in a statement said Gaitho's arrest was a case of mistaken identity. Now, I want us to go. That is where I want us to go. In another statement, after the video was circulated and people started making noise, because let me tell you something today, the only thing that can save you when you're abducted is when people come immediately. Like I saw a person, some youth was being abducted yesterday, and the people who were with him, the Gen Z, started throwing stones and pelting stones at that Subaru vehicle, and he was saved by a whisker. So people must make noise either physically there or in social media they circulate that you are gone. And now, a few hours later, the DCI shamelessly is coming to us and telling us mistaken identity. DCI says on Macharia Gaitho's arrest, and it's reported that the Director of Criminal Investigation, Mohammed Amin, now says that the arrest of veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho is a case of mistaken identity. Gaitho was arrested on what is now. Let me just see what he's saying. Look at what he's telling us. We are sorry to Gaitho. It was a case of mistaken identity, Amin said. Now, the daughter is announcing something that, yes, Gaitho has been returned back to the police station, and the daughter was saying, the daughter is called Anita Gaitho. In her Twitter handle, she says, he's safe, although they wrapped him up a bit. We are making the abduction report right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's safe, but they wrapped him up. I wanted to ask one question. And before this, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. Click the notification bell. We want us to grow together. And I want to thank you for growing the channel. We are at 16,000 subscribers, and I don't take that for granted. There are people whom we started with from scratches, and you've made me grow. And I just want to thank you very much. Kindly give this video likes. Ladies and gentlemen, when a DCI comes and tells us that it was a mistaken identity, the person in that office is telling us that in Kenya, there are people who deserve to be mistreated. Let us assume it was not Gaitho, the veteran politician. So let us assume it is just a common man like you and I, maybe. So the DCI is telling us that you deserve to be mistreated. Because even if you are a suspect, you know, the police is supposed to maintain law and order. I've always said this. They're supposed to identify and arrest you. This person is unarmed. Very, is just a suspect. Why don't you, and you have a Subaru and you have a Probox, the way they are bundling him into that car, it only means one thing. They wanted to kill him. And I can assure you, because if you look at what Gaitho has been saying, he's been criticizing abductions, torture, and killings. He's been telling William Ruto, if you are not careful, you will go down. These people, the Gen Z, will bring you down. So I have a feeling that if people had not made noise, that is how they go. And I'm telling you, someone just goes like that. They could as well, because there were only two, the Macharia and the son. They could easily take the son away and take the two of them. The next minute, the body is found in Ngong Forest or in some river. That's what happens. And they are the people who are in charge of investigation. They will tell you, we are on top of things. We are trying to look into it. And if people had not made noise, maybe if this video had not gone viral, then it would have been something else. Number two, just as I was asking, then who deserves to be mistreated? If you're arresting someone, then arrest them properly. The other question that is coming up is, the DCI is telling us that they don't undertake thorough investigation. Because if you can pounce on a veteran journalist, Macharia is someone that is known. And I know before they arrested him, they had a meeting, they had his pictures, they had monitored. How then did they know that it was now coming from his current home? You see, these are the things that I feel that sometimes the government thinks that we are fools. You don't know Macharia Gaitho, but you know where he stays. You know very well at that particular moment, he's coming out and maybe he's going to work. And then all of a sudden, it is a mistaken identity. Flimsy excuses. How do we now trust the DCI when they tell us that they had identified a serial killer in the Mkuru Kwanjenga, the person who they said had been killing those bodies that were found? So if you can mistakenly arrest a journalist, a veteran journalist who appears on TV every now and then, who is writing, has got some writings, he is a person who people read a lot of what he says, he's been talking. So you tell us that you did not know that that was Macharia. So how do we trust you that the person that you arrested, that you connected to the killings, is the real person. Sometimes we need to grow as a nation. And when William Ruto decided to tell us that he wants to change this nation, and in fact, I don't understand William Ruto. I thought that this time, when he's under siege, when he's taking a lot of heat from the Gen Z, he would tone down. But like I told you, sometimes there are inherent characteristics of a person that can never leave him. You can pretend to be democratic, but then there are, I always call it, a software character. The hardware character is that you give us. You go to church, you sing, you can pray. But inside you, you believe that someone should not question you. If someone questions you, it is either your way or the highway. And that's why you see a lot of killings. Yesterday, I was really shocked because most of the demonstrations were very, very peaceful, except for the goons that had been hired by the political class. And even those goons, especially in Kakamega, I saw them being arrested, overpowered. They were handed to the police. And at a certain place, a person was snatching phones. And the Gen Z arrested him, told him, you can't do that within us. So it is the police that was provoking, and they are in a killing spree, shoot to kill spree. I wonder what William Ruto wants. I wonder where he wants to take this nation to. And I thought that he had given us a man who was going to cool things down. Douglas Kanja seems to be even worse than the former Inspector General. And ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. If they start, because yesterday they also shot a journalist in Nakuru. They don't care. And I think they want to intimidate, they want to still fear so that maybe journalists can tone down. It is the journalists that will be revealing what is happening. So they want to instill fear. And how I wish that this administration would understand that fear cannot work in this era and age. You can kill as many as you want, but you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. The police must understand that one day they will carry their own crosses. If you shoot to kill, you're not killing on behalf of anyone. And one day you will take to the dock on your own. Ask the person, the police, who wanted to shoot some people in CBD, and the tear gas canister exploded on him and he lost both his hands. And now I think he's regretting how I wish I would have been more lenient to the people who are demonstrating. What you do will come back to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this should be condemned in the strongest terms possible, and it exposes William Ruto. He does not want peace. He does not want dialogue. He wants to rule with the tyranny. Miguna calls them despot, and I believe this is what they are. The inherent character is dictatorship. You cannot question. You cannot do that which they don't want. But the fear is gone, and they should understand that.